Hey crafty people! Welcome back to my channel, and in case you're new here, I'm Sarah, also known as Craft Nerd because I'm a nerd who loves to craft. I do paper crafting, card making, junk journaling, and mixed media art. Let's get crafting! Welcome to my channel. It is week 14 of the Full Deck Challenge 4 for 2026. Being hosted by Shanuki Art. I will leave a link to her introductory video in the description box. And the prompts for week 14 are vintage, wings, blue, cheesecloth, ticket, stamping, turquoise, and staples. And what we're going to start with is covering our playing card to give it a little bit more tooth so other stuff will stick to it. And what I've pulled out is, this is the cleanup paper towel that I used on last week's Full Deck Challenge card. And so we are just going to use some matte medium to glue the paper towel to our card. And I told you last week I would save this and use it for something. Didn't realize it was going to be this week's Full Deck Challenge, but save pretty inked paper towels. You can reuse them in your projects. Once you put the top layer on, it goes semi-translucent. So we can still see our playing card underneath. Right, I'm gonna leave this to dry. I'm gonna go clean my brush so it doesn't get hard and useless. And then I will be back once this is dry. Okay, it's all dry and we're just gonna trim off the excess. Okay, so next step, I am going to take, this is a purple onion stamp, and it's the definition of history. So I want to use this guy. Let me put it on a block and put the mat out. And I've pulled out Pawsitively saturated ink in mist, because I think that's going to get us our turquoisey color, as well as Peacock feathers, embossing glaze, because I want to emboss it on there. And I'm not necessarily going to get full coverage, so it may be a little haphazard in the stamping, but I figured that would look really cool. Let me grab a piece of paper to have handy for the embossing glaze. So we'll stamp there. Stamp it again here, and I'm hoping that this ink is wet enough that it will catch the embossing glaze. I do have one spot where it kind of got a big splotch. I think that worked pretty good. It's not going to come through perfectly, but since this is just for the background, I'm okay with that. I really should pay attention as I'm pouring the embossing powder back into the container so that I don't get it all over the place like I did. Good grief, how much embossing powder did I use? All right. Let me clean up my mess. Cleaned up my mess, and we are going to go ahead and emboss this. Okay, as we've had happen before when heating pieces that I used matte medium to glue paper down to, I've got some bubbling of the paper. I'm just going to press it flat. And I like how that came out. So next step is we need to do a little decorating, and I pulled some stuff out. I've got some tickets by 49 in Market, and I'm kind of looking at this. I think I want to do a little bit more stamping on that, so I'm going to need to grab, I've got a Crafty by Tony stamp, I'm sure, that's got small bits that'll work on that. also $49 in Market. These are die cut butterflies, and I think it's a memory box die. I've got a piece of cheesecloth that I've dyed, so I'm going to do kind of a layered butterfly like so, and then I've got a little acetate $49 in Market butterfly to stick on top. And I am just gonna grab my tiny attacher and staple this butterfly together. And I'm hoping that'll hold the cheesecloth in well enough. I'm thinking we're gonna do the butterfly kind of in the center and then add the tickets in. Maybe what we need is like a little number or word across the bottom. I'm noticing I didn't quite melt all of the embossing powder. Let me go back in and hit it again with my heat gun. Alright, I think we are good now. Let me pull out my stamped bits and bobs. Let's try that on for size. I feel like I like that. All right, let me get a stamp. I'm grabbing a couple stamps from her new release, and it's Journey CBT0041. I'll leave a link to her Etsy shop. I don't know if they're still in stock because she's, you know, a small Etsy seller, but she does usually restock her more popular stamps. So let's stamp this here, and I'm trying to decide what color I want to stamp with, and I think I'm just gonna go black and use Versafine Claire Nocturne. That, and then I also grabbed another stamp from that set. Let's use that. Oh my goodness, I cannot get this thing to open. Ah, there we go. It says half fair. All right, I need to clean those off. I'll do that in a minute. I feel like I kind of want to grunge them a little bit. Let's grab our sanding disc. Grabbed Peacock Feathers Distress ink to ink my edges, and I'm going to do it on the purple and the blue, and then I'm going to come in, I think, with some Scorched Timber maybe to get some contrast going. Okay, let's start gluing some stuff down. With our peacock feathers, a few bends, and come in with our Scorched Timber or creases. Let's drop my pin on the floor. That's not good. Gonna have to find that. And then I'm gonna glue the book page wings flat to the card because they're super delicate. And I feel if I don't glue them down, they're gonna end up ripping. I am just kind of bending the black wings to give them a little bit of lift and dimension. But I think I like that. Let's pull over our sheet, grab a pen, fill everything in. So we've got wings, because we did butterfly. blue, because this is a piece of black cardstock spritzed with one of the blue distress spritzes. Cheesecloth, ticket, stamping, turquoise, and staples. All right, there we go. Week 14's done. Let me give you a closer look. So that's all for today. If you enjoyed this video, please do all the things that lets YouTube know you enjoyed the video. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, leave me a comment down below. Thanks for joining me, and happy crafting.